Hey everybody, I am super excited to be talking with you today about 10 mistakes that new bloggers make and how to avoid them. Here's the thing though, often people who have been doing this for a long time, veteran bloggers even, make these mistakes too. So it's super important that you understand what they are and make sure you're not doing them. So let's get started on what those mistakes are. Mistake number one is they don't use keywords. It's so important when you're doing anything online, whether it's social media, whether it's your website, whether it is a video, that you actually use keywords, things that real people are really searching for. If you don't, then you're just wasting your time. So you want to make sure you're not being overly creative. Use words people are actually searching for, especially in your titles and your headings. Let me give you an example of this. I had somebody who was doing their blog and they used a title, "I can see clearly now," for the title. Do you know what that is about? I didn't think so. Let me tell you what the title should have been based on the content. The content was talking about how to use indicators and what indicators to use to do day trading. So a better title rather than "I can see clearly now" would have been, "What are the best indicators for day trading?" And people all over the place are searching for those keywords. Those exact keywords are searched so often that you could get really high in the rankings if you will create content around them. So how do you do keyword research? It's really easy if you know the right tools. Here are a few that I love to use over and over and over again to search for keywords for my clients. One is answerthepublic.com. This is a great website that can help you find a vast variety of questions that people are asking online, as well as prepositions, things that you've never thought to link together with your basic keywords. So go on there and type in a few keywords that relate to your business and see what pops up. You'd be really surprised with the results. Another one is spyfu.com, a fantastic site where you can put keywords in, you can put a competitor's website in and see what keywords they're being ranked for. It's really helpful if you want to raise to the top pages of Google to see your ranking for those keywords and start to track. Or if you don't want to do anything really difficult, open up a Google search browser and start typing in your keywords. I especially recommend doing things like "what is blah, blah, blah," or "how to do something." Those are really good searches to find what people are actually wanting to learn about or do. So think of those before you start writing content. Mistake number two that people make is that they write for themselves. Instead of writing for their audience, they write based on what they like or what's going on in their life right now, not based on the audience. And what do I mean by this? So oftentimes it feels like when you go to a blog every now and then, it looks like they are should be writing in their journal rather than actually educating you on something. It's just like a word vomit blog that doesn't make a lot of sense and is all over the place. So if you've been doing that, stop. People don't want to know all the details of your life. They want to learn something when they go online. They want to be educated in some way or entertained. If your life is really funny, maybe that's a great thing. But make sure that you are doing it in a way that people actually want to read. Get people's feedback if that's the type of blogs they really want. And make sure that you ask people who will give you real honest feedback, not your mom, because she will tell you, "Oh, it's so wonderful, honey." Mistake number three is they write really short 100 to 200 word blogs because they don't like to read long blogs. The problem with that is that actually, if you want to get any ranking, you have to have a longer blog. The average word count for page one Google search results is 1,800 plus words on a blog. So you can't get away with the 2 to 3 paragraphs. You have to put more thought into it, a lot more time and effort than just a 1 to 200 page blog. Also, I would say quantity is not more important than quality. So make sure that it is quality content that you're creating, not just a bunch of junk. If you have been creating just junk blogs just to have updates on your website, step back, take your time, and do a good job rather than just pumping out content. Tip here on content and the number of words is you want to have your keywords, just like we talked about in mistake number 1. You want to use your keywords on average 1 time per 100 words. That doesn't mean every 100 words you put your keyword. That just means overall, if you had a blog that's 1,800 words, you would use that keyword or variations of that keyword about 18 times throughout the article. Mistake number 4 that I see people make all the time is they don't use headings or break up their text. When you go to their blog, it looks like an essay, and people get scared off. You don't want to read essays anymore, right? Neither do I. Neither does your audience. So part of the Google and human blogging game is using headings with keyword-rich content. So headings show importance, especially to the search engines. So you want to make sure that your keywords are listed out in the headings. You want to have them higher up on the page, and you want to make your main points there because people will skim, and if something catches their eye in those headings, they'll stop and read more. So if it's not interesting and it just looks like a long-term paper, you're going to turn people away. Mistake number 5 that people make is they don't put content above the fold. And I was really surprised that I had to explain this one to a few people. It made me feel older than I actually am. But if you'll think back to when you were a little kid and you saw a newspaper, and you know that when you get a newspaper, it's folded. It's folded in half. And so you want to have your content on that top part of the page. And the reason for that is that when you have that content in the top part of the page, search engines rank your blog based on relevancy. And so the higher up the relevant content is, the more weight it will give that. They assume that if you've got a bunch of other stuff up higher, that you don't think that's as important. So a good example of this is like recipe blogs. You go to a recipe blog, and instead of getting to the recipe and the actual content that you're looking for, you have to sift through 5 million pictures taken 47 different angles. You have to sift through 5 million ads. That tells me that that's not that important, and it really turns people away. So instead of putting your content at the bottom of the page, put it at the top. You can do all that other stuff down lower. So mistake number 6 is they don't use any bullet points or lists. So why are lists and bullet points important? Well, if you've gone online and you've done a search recently, you know that there is a number 0 spot now. Rather than being number 1 in the organic rankings, you want to be number 0. Number 0 gets put above everybody else, and they get a huge headline. They get their information broken out. Maybe it's in bullet points, maybe it's a list, maybe it is a paragraph of great information that answers that question. So you want to be in that number 0 spot. Therefore, you want to make sure you incorporate those things. I've seen the list, like the numbered lists, be just the headings throughout the blog. It doesn't have to be one list at the top. It could be broken out throughout. And I have seen that where that top 0 spot person has done it that way, not necessarily at the top of the blog. So think about incorporating it in your headings, not just as a list at the top. Mistake number 7 that I see all the time is people don't link to other content. They just write the blog and that's it, and they're done. Problem with this is you really want to leverage your content linking to other content on your website. You also want to link and connect the interwebs. The search engines really like this. They like to see that you're linking to other relevant content online. So here's some tips for you. You want to link to your other blogs 1 to 2, maybe even 3 times throughout that blog. By doing that, you are creating links out, and that is something that search engines like. You also want to link not just to pages within your website, but other pages outside of your website. And I would say one time per article, if you can. And it has to be natural. It has to make sense. You don't want to just link out just to link out. You don't want to just link out to an affiliate link just to link out. You wanted a high quality link. So maybe an EDU website, maybe something news related that would be relevant to that blog. And that will help you in your search rankings. You also want to, instead of just pasting a URL, I know I've seen this sometimes where people just paste a bunch of URLs at the bottom of the blog. That's not really as good as if you will put actual keywords that then hyperlink out to another blog or website. Mistake number 8 is they are using pictures they found online. The problem with this is copyright infringement, people. So there is a reason that along the bottom of Google Images it says could be subject to copyright. It's because it is. If you haven't bought the picture, you need to make sure you go and source pictures from actual legitimate sites. So some great ones, if you don't know already, are CanStock Photo is a great place to go buy pictures. That means you buy a license to be able to use that picture. Adobe Stock is another great one. Maybe you have a subscription there. Canva, you can buy pictures fairly cheap, or if you have an advanced account, often you can use some of their pictures for free. Unsplash is a free stock photo website that you can use a lot of pictures. They aren't always as good of quality as something as you might actually purchase, but it's decent. And the other one is Pixabay. You can use those too. They do like it if you accredit the photographer, but you don't have to. So those are some great options to actually buy pictures for your blog rather than stealing someone else's, because you don't want to get a letter in the mail someday that says, hey, take that down, that's mine, or I'm going to sue you. Mistake number 9, we're almost done, guys, is they are not using alt text on photos. So alt text is when search engines see a picture, they have no idea what it is. They're getting better at that, and I think someday this will be phased out, but for now they can't tell what a picture is. And so you have to tell it what that picture is about, and you do that through alt text. You put, when you upload a picture, generally it will have the image title and it will have alt text field or form that you can put some data in. You want to put your keywords into that alt text picture area so that the search engines know what it's about. And this can help you in the rankings. I've seen people get ranked really well because they put a lot of pictures on their site and they use that alt text the right way. So super, super important. And mistake number 10 is that they don't have any calls to action. If you're just blogging, just to blog, you're wasting your time. If there's no purpose behind your blogging, you're wasting your time. You really want to make sure that when you blog, you're doing it strategically. It's so much time and effort to just throw out a lot of content without a lot of thought. And so make sure that you think about a call to action of some sort. Create with a purpose and have quality over quantity. So some clear calls to action, if you don't already know, are things like a sign up for a newsletter. That's a great call to action. Maybe a lead magnet. If you give me your email address, I will give you this free checklist. A consultation or webinar sign up, things like that are great options to create a call to action. Or if you're a products-based website, maybe selling a product after you've talked about that, or its features, or all kinds of other things that you would then lead into actual selling that product. Those 10 tips can help you in so many ways to improve your blogging. But I want to give you even one more tip that will help you create blogs that will get action and traction. The mistake that I see most people make after they blog is that they don't advertise their blog. They just figure, if I write it, they will come. Well, let me tell you, people aren't going to find you automatically. With a website, you have to actually drive traffic there and get people coming before you'll start ranking. If you think that people will magically come, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. But when you blog, if you will do a couple things, you can get traction back and you can help advertise about your blog, about your services, all kinds of things. So you need to have a plan in place to advertise your content. Maybe that's posting a pin to Pinterest every time you blog. Maybe that's posting on Facebook or LinkedIn and Twitter. Those things can really help drive traffic back. If you want to make sure that you are writing a blog that makes a difference, that gets action, and people come back and actually read it through advertising, go onto our blog. We have a great blog on there right now that will help you create content and how to leverage it, how to go and actually post on these other platforms, and what the checklist is, how to do that. So if that's something that you're interested in, go there. If you want to talk about any of these things or get a consultation, do reach out to us. We'd be happy to visit with you and see if our services and your needs are a good fit. So thanks, guys, for listening today, and we will talk to you next time.